When I was a kid, I remember my grandfather talking about his great uncle who went and survived both world wars. And he went on to start Qantas. Assigned to the 8th Light Horse, he found himself at Gallipoli. One of the battles he was involved with was the Battle of the Neck. Strategic stuff up and sent a lot of our boys into a wall of machine gun fire. After being hit several times with bullets somehow deflecting off his knapsack and another hitting his boot, another hitting his hip, scraping his body, caused him to fall over and somehow knocked him out. He woke up in no man's land, with snipers killing the wounded, so he had to play dead and he waited till sunset to make his escape. After surviving the neck, he'd lost his lieutenant colonel, a mate, A.H. White, who signed Ginty up. That night, Ginty and 3 others snuck out into no man's land to retrieve his body. Unfortunately, they dragged his body back with no head. Ginty went back to retrieve the head, only to return and have his 3 mates dead from snipers. Conditions at Gallipoli were freezing. The flies and body lice, the frost, losing mates he'd laughed with, played with, worked hard and fought with. The loss of them affected him greatly, and he was promoted to corporal and then sergeant. The 8th Light Horse went from 140 men down to 27. To leaving Gallipoli, he went to the Middle East. While he was in the desert and the ground, his crew had been badly shot up by a German aviator. All I wanted to do was have a crack at the cow. He also knew there was a future in aviation. After losing his brothers in the war, he got his wings and joined the 20th Wing. This is only 14 years after the Wright brothers had their first flight. He went on to become an ace and shoot down 7 enemy planes. Hudson Fysh was his gunner and observer. In one dogfight, Ginty completely inverted his plane while Hudson Fysh shot himself and shot down the enemy. Ginty was part of the squadron called X-Wing, which was also involved with Lawrence of Arabia. With the thousands of photos they took, they made a big difference. After the war, there was a race from England to Sydney, Australia, the Great Race. Ginty nearly obtained his Bristol fighter, but unfortunately his backer passed away. He was devastated, and they received the job to find suitable landing areas, set the landing areas up, and provide them with fuel. 1919 Model T Ford they modified into a ute. They loaded it up with the water, the fuel, supplies, camera gear, and a winch. And off they went through some of Australia's harshest conditions. 51 days it took them to go from Longreach to Darwin. By chance, met a wealthy farmer named McMaster, who had actually broken down. Ginty got him out of a flooding river crossing and replaced a broken stub axle. Later, while trying to start an air service, McMaster became the backer, which was the beginning of Queensland Air Services. Starting off with mail, soon they were buying second-hand ex-military planes and starting the first passenger service in Australia. To raise money for Qantas, he'd actually fly around and do joy flights. They called it barnstorming. One race day, he landed his plane, jumped on one of the horses and won the feature race. They took their first patient, which was the beginning of the Royal Flying Doctor Service. In 1923, Ginty resigned from Qantas. He made the decision to go tobacco farming. Life after Qantas wasn't all he'd hoped. Father of 2, divorced, and his farm was no longer his. World War II had started and he was called back into service to train our young pilot. As the years of war grew on, the men he had trained were now paying the ultimate price. He felt that some of this was his fault, drinking heavily, eventually getting grounded. He sorted his shit out and returned to flying duties. He was sent to Kokoda to expand the bases and runways. He coordinated the movement of personnel on air freight and highly commended for his effort. After the Second World War, he went tobacco farming again. A heart condition caused his death on the 25th of January, a few days short of his 56th birthday.